What it do? It is your girl Winged. I'm here alone right now. I'm here alone. I am waiting for my other co-host, Hurricane Do, Charmaine from Verbal War Zone. They should be pulling up shortly. So um we're just going to try to start the show by ourselves for the time being. Again, we got a lot of topics. The culture show, as you know, you got the breakdown crew, you got the block, we got several different type of shows that we do, but we definitely wanted a girls corner show. Salute Bliss Showtime, my brother Shy, my brother Jay Banks. What it do? Yeah, so again, we got a few different topics. The culture show is more so a little more diverse, not necessarily on battle rap, but everything in between. We do talk battle rap, but oh Jesus. Us women are slow as hell. Okay, with the good hair. Yes, yes. I did it today. I actually curled it today. But listen, so I'm just going to try to get started because the way this broadcast works, when you set up shop, you got to start. So I'm going to see what we can do. Anyway, what it do? Universal Bars. How? Oh, event next week. Next week. Yes, we got the Damn, I don't have the flyer right in front of me, but we definitely we got the event. We had um King Crash and Swamp Up here a few weeks ago promoting the battle. What it do, Brian? Um, y'all, if we can't see your comments, because I'm definitely going to try to see your comments from Facebook and all other platforms. We do stream from Periscope to Twitter, from the Facebook pages. We also will be in several different groups once all of the girls pull up. But for the most part, right now, like I said, we're just gonna try to start. But like I said, if we do not see your comments, it's because comments scroll pretty quickly. So if you want, you can go over to the breakdown YouTube and you can try it from there as well. Um 3430. Oh, 3430 got an event next week. Yes, in ATL. Um, you know what? We're not gonna do the leg jokes. We're not doing it. So listen. Um, Oh, okay. I thought it was due. Like I said, for those who are just now tuning in, I'm waiting for my two other co-hosts that are very late right now. Um, I really don't want to get into the topic just yet, only because I want them to be able to chime in with me as this topic goes forward. Like I said, the culture show has several different different elements to it. We're talking about everything under the sun. Okay, and do should be on in a minute. Today we have a couple of topics. If y'all have not seen the and Aaron Hernandez show on Netflix, it's a Netflix original show or documentary, I guess you could say. We'll be discussing that. We'll be discussing the Segu um, NOC Battle League battle. We definitely are going to get completely into that topic. So definitely stay tuned. Be patient with me while my people pull up. Um, they're late. They're late. They are. That's all I can say. Is my people's they late. You know how women are. I thought everybody would be on time. We have rescheduled this show 3 times today. I was ready. I have no sleep. So yeah, I got off this morning at 8 o'clock, and I've been up since then. So hopefully we will get this popping soon because I got to be out of here by 6. Anyway, so those will be the 3 topics that we're talking about. Not necessarily all battle rap. If you have not seen Danger Zone and Alias on Gates of the Garden, go check that out. Yes, the CB, thank you, the CB6 revamp. card will be in Peoria, Illinois on the 25th. King Crash versus Swamp, Bricks Belby versus KD, Ishmula, and more. Yes, fat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we see his high school team members said, yeah, you know what? Like I said, we're definitely gonna get into that because I don't really have I have a lot. You know what? For that documentary, um, I was conflicted. I was very conflicted with the narratives that they tried to play, especially with the reporter who decided after the fact to kind of bring that into light and the sexual abuse. So if a male has been sexually abused, you're gay and all that different stuff, you know what I mean? I'm kind of slighted. There was a death, obviously, that kind of absolutely, absolutely. You're welcome. There was a death of, a young man that, for the most part, was never solved. And the narrative that they're trying to paint, I don't have the connection there. I really don't have it. So, like I said, we will talk more about that. I want to get the girls' opinions. I want y'all to chime in as we get started with this. But they should be pulling up shortly. Tell me what y'all feel about this battle. I do not know the names because I did not go directly to the battle. I was told about this battle this morning, about 3 o'clock this morning. I was told about this battle and I saw what transpired, and it was kind of disturbing. We really gonna get into this because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not feeling that. I wasn't feeling that. I don't like the comfortableness. And for someone who said drops the N bomb a lot, I have to say that I do drop that N bomb a lot. It is not something that I used to do. What it do, Kryla? Miss you, honey. I don't see you a whole lot around the Facebook, you know, traffic or streets, Facebook streets. But yeah, I'm really conflicted. And you know, the way I look at it is regionally, geographically, there are passes that are given for saying nigga or my nigga or whatever, you know what I mean? So the we don't, we talk about the fact that we don't condone violence, or we're not really feeling the violence in battle rap. We just had the royalty event that happened and some shit that transpired there, and then you turn around and you have this battle that dropped. Or I don't even think the battle dropped, from my understanding. I think this was a battle that just happened. Um, and the young man, the white boy, decided to say, uh, like, I'm trying to be impartial, but I can't. I really, really can't. I'm trying to save my bars until my girls pull up. But just to give y'all the backstory, I think everybody has probably seen this by now. I don't want to call it fake outrage, but I will say, as a battle rap community, a lot of us like to play the conscious role. We like to play the conscious role, but yet still, this is a word that we use often. It's a word that when I was younger was not a word that I could use in my house. A lot of people that do know me know that my mother was a Black Panther, secretary to the Black Panther Party chapter in Seattle in her college years. After my mom and dad got married, moved to the Bay Area. We were raised with very open minds. My mother didn't. We didn't continue. She didn't They didn't raise us to see color lines. And of course, with the Bay Area, with San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond, we actually grew up predominantly in Vallejo, but with those areas not being very a melting pot of sorts. We weren't raised with color lines, but there was just certain shit that you could not say in my house. I gravitated a lot towards East Coast music, um, because it was conscious. It was more positive. So we couldn't listen to any derogatory rap, NWA, Too Short. We couldn't listen to none of that growing up. We could do MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, shit like that. We could not listen to anything that was degrading. So a lot of what I listened to, what it do, Ali, I don't want to say your whole handle, but ultimately, and I didn't want to say your government either, but ultimately, we grew up a certain way, and not for nothing. Um, as of course, as you get older, you know what I mean. You meet different people. You. For me, I was blessed to be able to travel. So being cultured with different ethnicities and seeing how other people lived, it was different. It was different. Both my parents are from backwood Mississippi, um, Natchez County. If we got any Southerners in the building, Natchez County, Macomb, Mississippi, Madison, Mississippi, very, very, very rural areas in Mississippi. And a lot of people I don't think know that Mississippi recently in the last 15 years completely abolished segregation. So as in the 20th century, they still were very segregated there. So just kind of giving you a little backstory there in regard to how I grew up. And I kind of wanted the girls to do that because I know they're both East Coast. So when we get into this topic, I want y'all to weigh in. Y'all can weigh in now. If you saw the footage, tell me how you feel about it. You know what I mean? Old boy basically said, y'all talk too much, basically, or y'all talking too much. Y'all basically said I can't say the N word, or and then he went to say my nigga, and before he can get the next bar out, which was, and I just said it, that was the narrative he was gonna run with. Old boy snuffed him. And it looked like some other folks was coming in for the kill as well. So I want to know, how do y'all feel about it? Like I said, a lot of us are outraged. We get outraged about a lot of shit. You had Cadillac Ron and Diz with the KKK, the Slave Master with Daylight and Pat Stay. We have a lot of battles that have kind of depicted racist shit. You know what I mean? With Cadillac Ron, we talked about the fact of his um going to jail and basically who he had to run with to make sure he could survive. So he ran with a lot of Aryan Nation people. But most people, shout out to Lush One, most people that knew him was like, he's not a racist dude. So I really want to know how y'all feel about this, because I've had down south, nobody can say it if you ain't this skin color. Seriously. And that's the way I've always been before I really, really got into battle rap communities. That's kind of the way I looked at it, is I looked down in my skin color and I just always felt like, I mean, shit, if you're not this, there is no exception, even though we shouldn't really even be saying it. There's really no exception. So anytime I heard of Cortez or J Murder, and these are people that I fuck with, Norbs even, these are people that I rock with. When I watch their battles, I have been cringe worthy. And so early on, because I'm sitting here like, how is that given a pass? Because although you're Latino, you are people of color, but you're not Black. You know what I mean? And I mean, we can go down the history line, we can do all of that, but at the end of the day, you're not Black. So how do y'all feel about that? Let's just kind of get into it. Carla says, that's our world though. It's for Black people to use, not for anybody else. But is it for Black? Should we even be using it? Because like I said, for those just now tuning in my household, you couldn't use it. And my mother always said, um, how can you be upset with somebody else who uses the word if you're using it as a salutation? I will tell you, in the Bay Area, we, my father, my older cousins, um, a lot of them, it was always young blood or cat or something like that. I know sometimes when I'm making posts, I'll be like that cat, this and that and other, because it's kind of natural for me. Listen, and here go she done pulled up all late and shit.
I know. Sorry. Where's oh, it's just me and you.
Now, yes, yes,
Oh,
business out there, but she pulling up in a minute. Um,
okay.
okay, so what I've done, I was trying
Hmm.
to not get into it, but just kind of trying to, anyway. So
Hmm.
we're talking about the battle. You did, and if y'all haven't went to Dude's page,
Which
or
battle?
huh,
Which battle?
the the Segu battle.
Oh,
We,
okay.
yes, we right there. Go ahead and give that narrative, because you and shout out Easy, you guys did that whole blog about it. I loved it. I liked the way y'all explained it and
Hmm.
everything. So I'm gonna let you start it off, because that's what I wanted you to do. But go ahead and you start it off for me
That's a
and talk
specialty.
about the event and all that, because I wasn't even
Well,
sure of the particulars.
I knew the event was going down, but I was actually watching the Rap Grid Cold War event.
Okay.
And then Easy had put me on to that because the event had ended late. I think the SIGU event ended at like 3 a.m. or something like that.
Shit.
And
Okay.
then there was a fight posted, and then we seen it, and it was just like, oh, you
It's
know
go
what I
from
mean?
there.
The reason why I said let me post it is because why would you even do like what was the positive, what was the benefit from saying that? Like, where do you benefit in a culture like this by saying, oh, I heard you can't say nigga, so I'ma say nigga. So I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right.
And then I seen like the explanation, because I'm not gonna call it an apology. Like, I guess he explained what it was, and he was nonchalant. You know what I mean? Like, he basically was saying it was carried away. It wasn't that serious. I guess he was saying the punch wasn't that serious. I guess he was referring to the punch and how the punch felt like, oh, it's not that serious. And I don't know why everybody's acting crazy when it's just like, dude, you're right. Acting crazy. It's uncomfortable. Like, you never know where white people are coming from when they use it. And then most likely you want to use it just to be cool. Why do you want to be that? Where are these people? Serious things are happening. Like, I never see them
Right.
stepping up and saying
Right.
anything when real shit is happening, when people are getting killed. It's nothing. And then it's just like they want to play black.
What and just to backtrack for anybody who's coming in, let my sisters introduce themselves. And Jay Banks, me and Du are not the petty sisters. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Where do you not make that?
Y'all go ahead. Of course, everybody knows, but y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, no doubt what's going on. She loves blessed by two the best that can be doing this right now. So I'm first of all most appreciative to be here right now. She loves Battle Rap Sundays, Verbal War Zone. We in the building. What's good, Queens? What's going
Purple
on?
Warzone's my spot. Y'all know me, Hurricane do. Hurricane do everywhere. I am a hurricane. Don't be transphobic. That's what I am. Claiming that.
My brother, you know what? And F you, Jay Banks. He said, why does me and Chermayne got the same color hair?
I mean, don't I was sketching.
You know what? Listen. This is Serve Up Sunday. Don't come with your shenanigans, Negro. We got a lot of stuff to cover. You know, I am sleep deprived. Don't have me pop up on you today. Listen, I told you I was trying to get right for Jesus, because Trump seems to can't get impeached fast enough, and we gonna get bombed. I'm trying to get right with Jesus right now. Stop playing with me.
I know that's
Anyway, back to the subject. Now, here's my thing about it. As I was saying earlier, um, we're all from different places. You know what I mean? And so what I was explaining, and what I'm gonna do is try to put all the questions that I possibly can. I see y'all have great questions. I'm going to get to those so that we can actually read them as we're going, because again, we stream from several different places.
Mm-hmm.
So They laughing at us. We
But
stream
no,
from several different
I
places,
get
so
myself
the
situated.
comments come from everywhere. But like I said, we all are from different backgrounds, different demographics. Me being from Northern California, my parents being from the South. As I was saying, here can't nobody say it if you ain't this color.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. However, my thing was when it comes to I was explaining how with Jay Murder, the Latino community. I won't even just say them. The Latino community, I'm conflicted because the way I grew up, it's
Mm-hmm.
like that it's kind of cringe worthy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And since that time, of course, I just, when I'm around, even with North, when I'm around Norths and it's my nigga this and my nigga that, and I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, this is not how I grew up. But I understand with the East Coast, this is something that
Certain
we
parts
are the
of
same.
the East Coast.
Only
Certain parts of the East Coast. Because in Atlanta, it was segregated.
right. I
New
was
York
Right.
City,
work
yeah.
thing. The East Coast. I would say New York, New Jersey, possibly the lower part of Connecticut. You're not really
Mm-hmm.
the my nigga. It didn't really come from somewhere else. Like I'm not trying to say that nobody else was saying it, but like New Yorkers coin shit when we do it. So like my nigga was like not even a term of endearment as people would say. That's just what you called your friend. And in New
Mm-hmm.
York, the melting pot. You will be in the
Mhm.
project struggling with an Italian, a Greek, a Puerto Rican, a
Right.
Jewish person, several other, but those end up being your niggas. So it's like you didn't give these people a pass. There's a difference between somebody getting a pass and people actually being a part of where you're from.
Right.
So like,
Right.
there's definitely a difference. And if you're in Northern California, or if you're in Oklahoma, or if you're in Michigan, or if you're anywhere down south, this is not even acceptable. My grandma's from the South, so it's like it's
Yeah.
not
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, like you can't come to Memphis with that.
it's
Yeah.
not even
Right.
to say it. Then if you come to the East Coast and you in New York, New Jersey, lower part of Connecticut, maybe Philly a little bit, but they got their own little terminology too, so they kind of stay
Mm-hmm.
away from somewhat. It's like a part of who you are. Now,
Mhm.
does that mean that when you leave New York City and you're going to a different demographic that you shouldn't be mindful of this? You
Right.
should. You should be mindful because it's something of your culture where you're from doesn't mean that you're going to accept it when somebody from somewhere else says it. So you should be careful saying it
Right.
freely. It's what you say, and prepare yourself because it's going to happen. And it sucks. I know I'm not even touching so much yet on what happened in the battle situation. I mean like overall.
I think his argument
Right.
was that whoever he hangs out with, the wolf kid in his circles, they have accepted that he says it and they view him as a black man. And this is where things get tricky. He's not black.
I don't know about being viewed as a black.
It ain't shit tricky about that. That ain't nothing tricky.
But
You see this
they're
man is
fucking with
clearly not
him.
black.
You know what I'm saying? As black people, they're like, yo, you one of us. And he's not. He's not going to get the same treatment stepping outside in the world, period. When he walks out the door, he's not a black man. He's a black to y'all, but y'all don't hold the same privileges. It's just not what it is.
And here's how deep I go with it. It's, like I said, it's I feel like because I know that Stampede was on Mercy's page and Mercy had tagged him. And I did see them having an interface or whatever. And Stampede has said, well, that's my guy. And basically, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. My whole thing is how, it kind of disgusts me because this is where my upbringing comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Your fucking ancestors, your grandmothers, your great grandmothers, aunties, uncles fought for your right to sit with a white person.
A lot of younger people are removed from that.
Like that's my point. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And I understand that we're having kids younger, so
Mm-hmm.
the teachings aren't there. But we can't play fake conscious in this community and decide to allow certain shit from a Trump supporter, or won't allow certain shit from a Trump supporter, but we'll allow it from our friends. That can't happen.
I'm gonna also touch on also come from a different direction, because I have a son who's Italian and Irish. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
indigenous. I don't consider myself African American. No, we don't gotta get into that right now. But I'm indigenous. This is my land. I was here first. So however you want to rate that and chalk that up, that's just how I roll. So
Right.
my son was raised as an African American. He wasn't raised as being white. He was raised as an individual. And when my son put himself in the box because his mother was black and his father was white.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't raised to be put in the box. Now let's just say, for instance, because even though he is mine, he is as pale as he may be light jaundice, hazel green eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Mine, yeah, I got one
If
here.
you see him, you know what I'm saying? My baby look like Blake Griffin, lighter. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like it just being a part of your vocabulary, that should be watched. But you also have to be open. You gotta be open to like I guess right now. I guess we still not touching on the battle just yet. I'll get to the battle, but like just on the context of the subject, sometimes you gotta be careful on who we even looking at, saying who got the right and who don't got the right. Because sometimes looking at somebody, you don't know if they black or not. So I'm not so much touching on that subject, because you look at my son, if he's standing with me, you would know that, you know what I'm saying, that's my son. If he's standing with his father, who look like a straight Italian, all beard, bull head, you wouldn't think he's
right. We can't always tell just by looking at somebody,
right, the
where
context,
where their descent, is from, or who their ancestors are.
right.
But this situation is just like, what's the purpose? That's all I want to know. Like, what did you get out of that? So
Right. Yeah.
in your bars, you stated, that you heard that you can't say the word nigga. So then you press it in the bars. So I don't understand what the point is. If you already know what the consequences might be, this was just like an antic
To go viral.
an antic play on racism.
Yeah, it's the play.
Right. We're living in the moments.
Which
in
was
the in
fun.
the culture where we're
battle
looking
rap
for moments.
punch.
I mean, yeah,
What is this going to be? Well, my nigga, blah blah blah.
Well, he got the punch. I mean, he definitely got what he was looking for.
Right. But I mean, as
Shock value.
as everyone
thinking shock value. He said shock value.
When shock value. Yeah, we know. But when you're sparring, it's like, what is this going to do for my career? Okay, I'm going to say something shocking and shock them all and possibly get some people upset. What's your end game? Because right now you're talking about, I'm going to give battle rap a break because this is not fun anymore. Yeah, because you're white calling people niggas. Like, it's uncomfortable, dude.
Okay, so let me play.
Not fun.
Will you allow me to play devil's advocate?
Yes.
And this is
right ahead.
If you joining in right now, I'm playing devil's advocate. Don't come for me, because
well, hold on. If you're joining in, because I see a lot of people coming up. If you're joining in right now, we are talking about the Seiyu battle. What was the battle event?
I don't know.
I don't know. Basically, the footage that we are all watching right now, that basically where you see the white boy calling people niggas.
Thanks. That's what we talk.
Period. So there you go. That's what we're talking about.
Can we still? I ain't never caught nobody in battle rap, none of this. But I'm gonna say we, because we talking as a collective. So can we still call crackers and honkies and pygmies and all the other? I mean, no, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me.
No,
like that.
I was just like,
I'm saying, you're right. You're right.
You know what? Many bars that I have written, I've never had like a cause to call. Did I call somebody a cracker before? I've called like people on, in arguments, crackers and stuff like that, because then they might show some cracker, behavior. And, cracker is the oppressor. When we're speaking cracker, we're speaking of someone who's living up to a white supremacist, ideal in life. Like, if I'm calling you a cracker, you're treating me, you're looking down on me, I'm feeling oppressed, I'm feeling it from you. So that's when I'll refer to you as a cracker.
And right, removing us, right? I'm just talking about in battle rap, because I've seen it several times.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it.
You
Yeah,
go
I've
there
heard it
on
said.
a boy and all the types of derogatory stuff, but you know for a fact if this Caucasian male was to come back at you and say boy something for real, that's just as a
You
derogatory
getting fucked up.
word.
You
I
getting
think,
fucked up.
but you feel what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want it to be again. I don't think it's a biased place. It comes from a real place because I do a biracial child. Like I think that if we're gonna start holding people at note for the racial slurs, then everybody gets accountable for the racial slur. Now,
Sure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. But it
I know.
doesn't.
Let me finish real quick.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, while this may not be actual the case that comes out to be, I don't have no place in my heart that believes that every urbanized, chocolatey, black, Latino male is gonna stop calling their opponent, and which who may be Caucasian, a cracker or a honky or some type of white slur. But at the same time, if we're gonna be sensitive to racial slurs, then let's be sensitive to racial slurs. Because my son watches battle rap. He goes with me to events.
Mm-hmm.
So if I would want it to be that if he sees one half of him getting defended, that the other half get defended too, or make it a clean slate across the board. Because at the end of the day, while it is our culture now involves a whole other line of cultures, as well as genres, comedy, music, movies, as well as battle rap. Like our battle rappers are not just entertaining us on the battle rap stage no more. They're doing so much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be accountable. All of us to be accountable.
So,
all right, Keon Dixon.
I understand that point of view. I just don't feel like the weight that these words hold with certain individuals, with certain Black people, it's not equal.
You're right.
Their shit, and I understand that. As devil's advocate, they don't understand the experience. You know what I mean? Because they're raised in ignorance, and not ignorance in the negative light. Ignorance in the actual meaning, like you don't know a lot of things or what a lot of these things mean, or your parents aren't teaching you how offensive, you know what I mean, certain things are. Someone coming in a battle and saying that and then nonchalantly replying that he doesn't understand what the big deal is, to me,
that's
negligent, irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? As a grown white man, you'd be better off teaching people younger than you and people who aren't in the know, since you are privileged enough to hang around Black people, what it really is and how offensive something like that really is, because it's 2020 and everybody's upset. So clearly there's a problem. If everything was perfect, then maybe the words wouldn't mean so much to us. True. You know what I mean? Right. So many bad things weren't happening, then maybe it wouldn't mean, we laugh and joke about every fucking thing. And I'm pretty sure we'll laugh and joke about this right here. You know what I mean? But
we will laugh in victory that you got snuffed is what we will laugh about. However, it takes, and like I said, with those who feel like it was okay for that to happen, let me explain to you how quickly this could have went left. Mm-hmm. I don't even think that we're understanding that factor, how quickly that could have went left in the wrong place. You know what I mean? The Black folks that, was basically protecting him could have been hurt. It could have been a real serious ordeal there. But I'm gonna tell you something else. I had a friend living in Southern California. I had in San Diego, I had a friend that was Mexican. And I hung around a lot of Mexicans then too, but they were old school Mexican, like they outside of Tijuana, but all of her family members, I think grandmother on up to mom, brothers, and she was about 10, 15 years older than me. Mm-hmm. One day we were hanging out and she I don't know what we were talking about, but she said she had referenced Black people as colored. But listen, they broke it down for me though. this is how older Mexicans saw black people. It was
I
not black
was like,
people.
I
It
think
was
politically
colored.
correct at one time, right? It was a politically correct
Uh-huh.
term at one
It,
time.
it was El Negro.
Negro.
It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that they from old, you know what I mean? They're from the days of old. And that
Mhm.
is, they were the more
That's true.
pure bloodlines of what Mexicans are. But then when you go and see, and that's what I had to learn the different uh demographics or different geographical areas, because when you are down south, Texas bound, you have more of the darker Mexicans that look Indian,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Aztecs, that think a different way. But what she said to me was, I told her, I'm like, Gabby, you first off, you can't go around calling folks, colored like that. To me, that was the ultimate. I'm like, baby, no. And we all, we're in California, we're in Miss Liberal country. You can't call black folks colored, ma. That's just
Right.
not gonna fly. And she's like, well, I'm not trying to, offend you, but I'm like, I love you. You're not necessarily offending me, but you kind of took me back to, and I wasn't even there in the 60s. You taking me back to different things that I was taught. That's just not gonna fly. Her, like I said, her parents, they sat me down. We talked about it because they love me to death. Kearney aside, everybody knows I am, and shout out to Brooklyn Ann. She calls me Blaxican because I promise you that's one of my favorite foods. So I'm always over there for some,
Mhm.
for some real authentic Mexican food. But so that's how close we were. And they expressed to me where that comes from. But in explaining to them our struggle, not my struggle, but our struggle and what that really means, like that's derogatory. It's cool to have today to have white friends, and I keep a white friend. Like I do.
How
But
many of your white friends been around to call you nigga?
none of them. None of them.
That's
And I'm
what
gonna
I want
say,
to know.
I'm not gonna say no
That's
names.
good. Not no. I got
Have you
several
ever
white
had to put
friends.
one of your white friends in their place?
What happened?
Have you
That's
ever
what I
had
was
to
about to
put a
say.
white friend?
There was a situation that occurred, and I'm not going to say any names, but there was a situation that occurred, and one of my male white friends
Ooh, I
was
know who
like,
you talking about.
shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. One of my male white friends was like, oh, I wish right now, I wish I could say, and before he could even, I turned around, I said, oh, and no, you can't say that, and no, you're not gonna say that in front of me. And I said it, my nigga.
I be wishing for though. What do you think's gonna come over you when you say nigga?
Exactly.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Like there's no magical
Out of
color change.
it's
Right.
blackness.
So it was just right. So you're feeling that, oh, you want to say this, you want to say that, or whatever the case may be. No, we're not even gonna play that game.
Why?
All my other white friends, they're lily white.
Can
So,
someone
a lot of
answer
them don't even
why?
know that I do this.
Why do they
You know
want
what I mean?
to?
None of them know that I do this. So it's just like, even if they were, I'll say this, when I first moved here, even, it was crazy because I was the uppity black girl to them because I didn't have an accent and I enunciated words and different things. So for them, I was the uppity black girl, and I was more white than them. So they never really said too much to me. Listen,
I'm just trying to
I got a little more southern.
no, but we all get
Go
that.
ahead.
We all get that there's levels. That's us in our blackness. We understand that there's articulate black people. There's people that speak their ebonics, proudly. What I mean? I go in and out of that shit. I don't give a fuck. It depends on what setting I'm in. It's what I'm gonna give up. But it's just like,
Yeah.
as a white person, if I was white, let me play devil's advocate and put myself in a white person's shoes. I would be embarrassed to think that something like that is
Absolutely.
cool. I would want to be educated in like the fucking the struggles of someone else's ancestry. Like, I have respect for Jewish people. I have respect for Muslims in the Middle East. I don't feel like I'm gonna call myself any type of name, like, or I don't want to be down that bad.
Right. Right.
What is it? What is
That's
the
a fact.
for white people? I know I have white people on my page, and I know you guys have white friends. I wish that some of you guys would chime in and tell us what the big deal is. Like, tell us your secret. Why do you guys want to say it? I want
No,
to
I can
know.
tell you the honest. I can tell you the honest.
Because the fact that
I
you can't,
have white, pygmy,
I,
Italian, German friends. I have a lot of friends that are not melanated at all. I have 17 god kids. Out of those god kids,
oh,
7 of their moms are either mixed or Caucasian. Like, I can say that none of them have ever tried me, or even probably tried their men that they was with. They got biracial children. Like, to call me a nigga, like, I had somebody in my life, one person in my life ever called me a nigger. ER, hard ER.
Yeah, that happened to
And I
me.
would say who it is because it's so embarrassing.
Right.
that has
This person's
happened
in my life.
here.
This is not. These people are not using it in, like, according to them, in a malicious way. He's trying to say, like, I want to use it the way you guys use it, as a friend. My nigga, we are niggas. I am your nigga. This is what
What?
they're telling us. Why?
Well, here's the thing. Do y'all remember? And I posted this on my page, and I put it on, and this is so befitting. And I put it on my Twitter. And Tom Hanks's son wanted to go on this whole liberal plight about the fact that I shouldn't be told what to do and blah 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 and all of this, that, and the third. You know, any excuse will do when you know what I mean. I guess, again, I don't know if you want to feel like you need to be buddy buddy with us. I mean, or whatever the case may be. And again, I have white folks on my page too, and I don't know that they necessarily want to say the word, and I think that they know that is not something that you do. I'll even say, for those who grew up in more urban areas, and they feel like, hey, I'm one with them. Like, this is what I don't see no color lines. This is my people. And I just feel like I get it. You grew up with me, whatever the case may be, but that doesn't mean that we're the same. We're never going to be the same. You know what I mean? And so I don't really understand the fascination with this situation. To me, it was very, it was just distasteful. It's not even something that that you should be trying to do for views, because not for nothing, somebody will see this battle. It will go viral, and then you have other issues from other people outside of where you are. Your black friends ain't gonna be with you everywhere.
I just thought about him getting punched in the face, and I smiled. I just had a visual, like, he gets punched in the face at the end of this, because usually in the video it's like someone saying nigga, and he's like, oh, this actually like had like some consequences.
Ended up with somebody getting punched in the face.
Like, it's definitely a learning moment, and I'm loving the consequences of it all, because that's how I feel. In certain circles, you're going to be able to say nigga. I think that's the bottom line. In certain circles, you are going to be able to get away with it. Certain black people aren't going to care, and in other circles, you're going to get fucked up. And that is what it's going to come down to. You're going to have to decide how. You could just strategically do that too. Like, stick to the circles where they're like, yeah, my nigga, come on, my white nigga, stay with them. But you go outside of that shit, you got to know you're taking a risk. And I think that's the bottom line. I think as a community, that's how we're going to have to accept it. It is America. They can say what they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Feel what you want to feel. People could be who they want to be. We live in 2020. You could be who you want to be.
Facts.
What's your name? Rachel?
Whoever you are.
I'm a white one at that.
Okay, so there are several questions. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing a horrible job at these questions, but there's several questions. Keenan asked a very, very good question in regard to, if we want for people to stop saying it, How about we stop saying it?
How about no? That's just my personal thing. Like it's like a habit for me personally. It's my
Mhm.
habit. Um, I think that that's the least of our worries. I think that us using it within our community is the least of our worries. I think that you
So
shouldn't want to use it.
what happens when what happens when Stan from the hood, who is Caucasian, who raps, who is an artist, who was raised around everything that is nothing but us, and this is who he is. He not even talking about nobody. This is him. And he go on a platform and he say nigga. Okay? He don't say it with the ER. He say nigga.
Mm-hmm.
And
Not malicious way.
what happened was he then supposed to not be himself because he had an opportunity?
I don't know what happened. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like it's to be seen. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to stop anybody from saying what they want to say or to dictate to anybody how they want to feel. I feel like you put yourself in a situation, deal with the situation. I want people to know that I'm not going to be crying or feeling fucking sorry because there's Google, there's facts,
Right, because you
there's
know
education out
and that's a
there.
fact.
And
You
when
know what
something
it is.
happens to you, I'm going to be laughing and I'm going to post it and I'm going to say, see, look what happens. Another
What
person
happened?
says nigga.
What's
You
the
say
word?
nigga around
I'm not
me,
saying
and I guarantee you it's gonna be a
I'm not saying
problem. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. It won't even be a problem. You'll be checked. Please don't say that. Come on now. I'm sitting here.
I mean,
I'll
and
say it like that.
that's
Like
what I'm saying.
I don't
I'm
want
not
to hear that shit.
excusing you. As long as you stand in your shit, and that's for anything you say on that stage. Because people would say niggas that said a lot worse shit than nigga on
Oh
the
yeah.
battle rap stage. Let's just
Mhm.
versus let's say that.
Yes,
I was like, I don't have
absolutely.
this big. We talking about the battle rap context. I in no way, shape, or form think that he should have utilized that moment to say nigga.
You're right. Because
I
Right.
felt
I
that's
don't.
my
I
personal.
don't.
battle rap is definitely
However,
disrespectful. Everybody will you'll be disrespected for an angle, right? What
Right.
is your
Khadijah.
angle when you're saying
Khadijah.
my nigga? Like, what is your purpose? Your purpose must
Right.
be, listen, I'm your friends.
Well,
Don't
in this case, you
like
were challenging. In this case, he
that's
was
what
completely challenging.
we were challenging the community.
Khadijah, Khadijah, we actually already touched on that. She said, "What about Spanish people?"
What about them?
Um,
We first of all, some of the Spanish people actually have African descent, and some of them have European descent. That's up to them to disclose to us who they are if they even fucking know. Let's just get off of them right now. Let's get off of them. Let's stick to the white boy who wants us to accept that he's a nigga because that's what this is about. His message is, I'm one of you guys. Why are y'all acting crazy? Why are we acting
that's
crazy?
a fact. That's a fact. Again, like I said, that's yeah. Like I told her, we did already speak about this in regard to him per se. It's again, I don't know what the curiosity to be able to do this in this case. You got what you asked for. You got what you asked for. I hope, within battle rap, we are a small community opposed to what the world sees. You're going to have people who may allow you to do these different things, but you don't have, and that's the part about it. There's not enough cultured people, and I'm not being dissing anybody, but there's not enough culture people to help you to understand that that's a violation no matter how comfortable your friends allow
you
you
are
to be. You feel me? So you allow something to go on the internet that now the internet does saves everything. You know what I mean? So um I don't really know what to say other than
Right.
you open Pandora's box and now you're there. Consequent every action has a reaction. I live by that. Every action
if he
has a reaction. We live in a time
as
right
bad
now.
who
We live
got
it like
fired from
you
his
said.
job in word because he ain't know his black person. That's what he put himself out there. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
you put yourself out there, right? You don't know who's watching this. You don't know that somebody may take
Thing,
this clip.
everyone's watching. Maybe not today,
Right.
maybe not tomorrow. Somebody gonna come across it.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna
Right.
happen.
This is not going to get you a PG. Understand that. This is not going to get you a PG, by a black owned company.
No.
Definitely not going to get you a PG. It's not going to be a battle from anywhere else. So,
maybe he has different goals, and people. This is when you see a culture vulture. I do apologize for cutting you off, but this is when you actually. This is the point that I want to make.
Somebody might book on.
This is when you see someone that's utilizing your culture. Using your culture for their own personal gain. They don't want to bring anything to it. They're not here to be a part of it. They're coming to have a moment. That's all they'll need. And they can move forward with whatever group of people choose to follow them at the end of the day. Because that person saying that can bring a whole slew of people that will never come to an event, never watch the battle. Then now you're gonna have all these people, why your views going up? Because they're looking for people that's the white person to see if they see the N-word now. You get what I'm saying? So it be tactics why people do everything. But at the end of the day, like, just know that some people really ain't here for us. Like, we here for everybody else. Like, he wasn't here. That's why he did it. Because he was here for himself. And for himself, it was going to be worth it. You have to think to yourself, once I do it,
I'm going to get famous. So you could squeeze right in and be dusty as hell and really be known. Or just say some real wild, out of line shit and shoot to the top. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, preference. Definitely. Because some people don't even have a voice.
He says, facts. He says he lives in Bmore and in Philly and was in the hood. And he said he never used it. He was like, he wouldn't even use it as an excuse. It's a respect thing. He says that it's a respect thing. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is definitely a respect thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second.
And I'm assuming.
Hold on.
Excuse me. Viral. Well, yeah. And he's saying. Okay. And he basically says, yeah, basically it's going to go viral. Yeah, I'm trying to get to everybody's comments. And y'all, I appreciate the feedback. I do appreciate the feedback. Keenan says, he was like, he never feels sorry for any consequences that anybody has. And I agree, because you sign on for this. You absolutely sign on for this. Clearly no debate, Ray. Shout out to my breakdown brother. He basically says he knew a white boy that grew up in 6 Mile. He's from Detroit. Davison. He was like on the east side. He was like of Detroit. And basically, yeah, he's from the hood, lived the street life, and never fixed his mouth. So you have a lot of people, a lot of white boys that know better. You got a lot of white girls that know better. From the hood, been there all their lives. It is a respect thing. You know what I mean? And there's really no way to explain it. You know what I mean? You disrespect the people that you fuck with if you think that that's okay. Period. You know what I mean? So again, we didn't want to go crazy, draw this whole thing out. I'm not gonna get on my soapbox about it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm really not, but I feel like the outrage is necessary, but I feel like if we're going to talk about it as well, we should always have a solution to it. Each one teach one is what I come from. So, I know earlier I was talking to some of the breakdown crew members, and they were saying, like I said earlier, I'm very guilty of using the word. I am, you know what I mean? But they were saying that basically, how about take it out your vocabulary? But like I did make mention, like, that's easy to say, but then you have mainstream rappers that use this. We live in such a high social climate that anything that we're listening to now our youngsters are, and not even our youngsters, all of us are actually adapting to dances, lingo, all of that. My nigga is something that is a salutation that is international. Unfortunately, there's really no way to stop it. Yes, we could stop it, and I do plan on stopping. I do. Um, I do. It's just
like
hard because I've been saying it so long. I do, and I don't do it all the time. I do try to, like I said, a lot of people that I grew up with, I do say sometimes in my posts, this cat is fire, or something like that. Like I said, from the Bay Area, you still have people that use, well, the older people still use young blood. You know what I mean? That's the type of lingo that we had. So ultimately, huh? What'd you say, dude?
I don't feel like the lesson is with Black people. I feel like if you feel like you're outgrowing using the word, if you feel like you want to stretch your vocabulary, or do something different with your vernacular day to day, that's fine. But I feel like this
Right.
is a white community responsibility, and I feel like they are a part of the healing process with the country and all the effects from slavery and all that shit. And I feel like they don't step up enough. I feel like we know y'all embarrassed about y'all shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I feel like it's a white responsibility. Educate yourselves, educate your children, educate your friends. Step up. It's not our place to be like, hey, why don't we stop calling each other nigga? Like, hey,
But it is kind of our responsibility. It's our responsibility if for not us, but if for those who are allowing their white friends to do
now
it.
those people,
Yeah.
niggas that I don't understand, they have to be the ones to check their friends but how can they check their friends if they don't even care how it affects somebody else? Why they don't? And this is the whole thing. I don't give a fuck. Let me just say this. I don't give a fuck. Say that shit. And then we'll just have more fucking videos like this and more content to put out. Go ahead, say that shit. I don't care. I gotta be honest. I don't give a fuck. Say that shit. Say it. Say it.
Say it. Let it be the reason.
What resolution is there? We're gonna go to school. Read some fucking books. That's all I could tell you. Educate your grandmothers. I'm slapping people's grandmothers, everything. Like, just don't disrespect me and my loved ones.
That's a fact.
And I'm fine.
Right. Right.
Do what y'all want to do. Y'all that pressed to say the shit, say the shit. And then it might be some consequences like this. God forbid something worse. You know what I'm saying? So, use that word at y'all own discretion.
Right. Just that's a fact. I agree with all that. And at the end of the day, too, you gotta look at the fact of there has to be some type of accountability in terms of the leagues as well. That is no place for shit like that to begin with. Somebody knew that this was going to be said, and not for nothing, that battle don't need to drop. I'm sorry. It really doesn't. Because you're
that's like a warning.
Listen. Well, okay. That is okay. I'm slighted. Drop it, but don't. And the reason I say don't is because here's the thing. We are the ones that turn around and the black eye is on the culture because of some bullshit that you do. You see what I'm saying? That's my point about it. Is because you're getting the cosign from your other white part, your other white counterpart to say, guess what? I think I'm gonna do that shit for views too. Now, you're right. That's gonna be your consequence, but it's your consequence in our culture. A lot of us say white folks are visitors in this culture.
Yeah. Well,
so
I guess that's the league owner's responsibility. That would be like the standards of the league owner. Like, okay, well, I know this kid is like controversial, and likes to cross the racial lines, like that's up to the league owner. Maybe the person that wants to say nigga needs to say something up front behind the scenes. Hey, listen, I wanna, spice things up and say nigga. What do you think? Maybe you want to pull your opponent, get in the inbox and just be like, hey, I have this idea, let's go viral, dude. Like, I totally want to say nigga and like just fucking let me.
No.
Like, y'all can have that conversation and then make it happen. I don't give a. I don't.
Lord Jesus.
I just feel like we be like, we're upset, so we're gonna be like, hey, and Black Power, it's bothering us, and you guys are still gonna do what you want to do. So we're just gonna say what we want to say. Every time you get punched in the face or something happens, we'll just come together and be like, wow, it's crazy. They're just
and laugh at your bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
he doesn't seem upset. He said it's not a big deal to him. He said we're taking the fun out of battle rap for him. And this shit is not it. I would think like this was the adrenaline rush that you were looking for. Some rock.
Child, that's what he said?
In your face. Some MT. Yeah, that's what he said. We're taking the fun out of it. It wasn't that serious. He doesn't get it,
Okay. Well,
I think that I feel like this individual has gotten enough of my time.
That's
because the more I hear, I feel like I'm low key. Like now I'm like stewing.
I knew he was gonna drag it though because we were supposed to talk about Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez.
Oh, we was about to drop this. Yeah, I was about to let you say what you said on that, and we was about to drop this and go to the next subject because I'm done. I'm done. If yeah. Next topic. Yeah, because I'm over that. I'm over that.
We don't have a problem with white people. I know a lot of great white people, quality Caucasians, and shout outs to them because I have some good ones in my life. Everybody else that wants to play those games, I invite you.
All right. So, Mr. Aaron Hernandez, if you have not seen
what's the name of that documentary?
The Aaron Hernandez story.
Woo!
Yeah. If you have not seen it on Netflix, definitely go watch this. I'm so conflicted by this story, though.
Why?
I'm hella conflicted by this story. Huh?
Why?
Well, because I don't really like the narratives. Okay. I don't like the narratives. Okay, this is the way I look at it. Mm-hmm. I look at it as you had a young guy that grew up. It doesn't really. I'm not really sure if he grew up in an urban area, what he grew up, but ultimately he came from a 2-parent home. Mm-hmm. And 2-parent Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? His dad, the head of the household. There were family issues.
Yeah, immediately mentioned violence within the household. Like that was the first thing I think they brought up. They brought that to our first, right? How much violence
bring that
father.
They did bring that.
Other are describing violence. What other people can be described as violence, a strict upbringing. And so, like, just to clarify, he wasn't raised in an urban community. He was raised in a decent community.
He went to a damn good school.
Relationship because she ended up sleeping with a bookie and all this other stuff and brung shame.
Well, not even that. She ended up getting involved with her cousins. Yeah, with his cousins, boyfriend, husband. His cousin's husband. So I don't even feel like what I was getting there. I don't even feel like that had anything to do with it necessarily. As he got older.
I feel you as an adult woman saying that.
Well, he connected.
We ain't never been boys. We ain't never been boys to understand what his visual was of his mother to make something change like that. So I've never loved my mother from a boy's place before. They always say to the mother is lately way stronger as the daughter is to the father. So I wouldn't say that so much. But I feel like we have to, at any time when we're watching these documentaries, they have a point to get to. So at
Mhm.
the end of the day, they're only skipping over the other little small things. They want to talk about the fact that the murder charges that he was faced up against and the fact that he died in prison. But they don't really want to talk about the fact that he died in prison or all that part. They want to talk about the fact that he was
We're
a
gonna get
murderer
to
and a
that.
monster.
We're gonna get to
But I
that.
feel like
But
they
I'm
put a
explaining.
lot of focus on the fact that he witnessed a lot of violence and a lot of
Right.
aggression
And this is
in
why
his
that's what
household
they,
at a
and
young
that's why
age.
that's
That's
why
what
I was
molded.
conflicted. That is why I don't feel like that's what molded him necessarily, though.
Why
But
would
I
you?
feel
Well,
like even
that's
I
what
feel like
that's what
even
fraud.
well, I feel like after hit. Well, here's the thing. The reason I feel this way is because I resonated with the hatred that he started to feel, like you said, as far as his mom after his dad died. Because I'm gonna tell you, my mother died when I was young. My father, well, and I lost my brother. My brother was murdered 3 years after that, and then my dad passed away 3 years later. So I had 9 years of constantly dying, dying, dying. You know what I mean? In his case, you never know what things trigger. But what they did say throughout all this shit, if you pay attention to the conversations with his fiance, that boy was very impressionable too.
Mm-hmm.
He was very fucking impressionable. So I kind of looked at it as my life. Some of the people that I hung around with, suburban girl, my parents sheltered us from a lot of stuff, but when I would hang out with different people, there was a group of people, an area that I used to hang out with, and I was comfortable, honey. You know what I mean? It was, and these are people that I still fuck with today that are still living,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't realize that the dangers that I was putting myself in, and I was really in some dangerous areas. And I was okay with it. It never led me to kill nobody, but some of the shit that I did witness, some of the things that I was a part of, it defines me today. I can say after I lost my dad, that was like the last straw for me, and I was a functioning alcoholic. I had never owned a gun. Well, I'm
Oh,
lying there,
breaking
but
news.
legal.
My interruption was. I'm sorry. Cuban left the Goonies. He said there's no bad blood, but he's no longer part of the group.
Who?
Well,
Cuban.
Cuban. Well, I heard about some comments that he made while there. So, right. Good choice. Safe choice. Very safe choice.
Don't be afraid to get alone and sidewalks.
Be an individual. Be an individual. Period. Louise, I'm waiting on you next. But long story short, those areas are kind of what reached out to me in this, and where his violent streak came from. Like you said,
Okay.
then the
One
mom not
thing,
being
one
there,
thing
so I
that
get
they use for us to try to understand, to get inside of his mind, right? So the
that.
other thing that they used to make us understand his frustration was that he was secretly gay. At first, when I seen the guy talking, I didn't feel like, I felt like that was like pulling the rug. Like, what I wanted to understand what his sexuality had to do with anything, because I felt like that information was unnecessary in the beginning. As they moved on, they started talking about how he was having secret relations when, I don't know if they said college or high school, but they said his father was
It was
also
high
very
school.
vocal
It was
and
high
very
school because
homophobic. High
that the football player, his best friend was the football player, and they explored. He said they didn't call
right.
it gay.
And they kept it going. And
Right.
but they also put in, so there's these little things that they're putting in the documentary for us to hold on to, so we could, like, I think, gain an understanding of Aaron, right? So first he's with his father. His father's very violent. His father's beating up his mother. His mother's doing
Allegedly.
she's allegedly promiscuous within the marriage. She's getting beat up. The child is witnessing this, right? What they're saying. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's the other layer of, now he's hiding his sexuality. So really they're trying to make us look at him like this person with so much shit just building up inside of him, but somehow still to focus and make it to the NFL. into one of the best
Right.
teams ever, the Patriots. Like off season, double murder, back on to play with the Patriots.
Right.
But
That is, like I said, I feel like.
I think
Go, go
let
ahead,
me
Mama.
just real
Go
quick
ahead.
interject. I think what now I know when I say this, people gonna be like, oh my goodness, conspiracy. But I think what we are forgetting is that CTE has been found to do more
Oh,
damage to people's attitudes,
is that
mental
the
ability.
diagnosis from the damage from playing football?
right.
No,
Okay.
Now, see, I
have it
have
in
3 pro
oh,
uncle
but hold on.
football players,
Oh, and that's
so
the
I
other
didn't.
layer.
Yeah,
Now,
I
we're
forgot
gonna
about
get
that
into
layer.
that.
That's the
in
other
what
layer.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that last. Yeah.
wrestling, it's not just football. I feel like the story was more made to stay away from the fact that the monster that was actually created, the brain injuries, what CTE actually causes, would have been all of the actions in which he was then accused of being a part of. That CTE definitely would have more of a major effect than just all those other traits, because obviously there was a time where he wasn't participating in murder. He wasn't participating in drug dealing. He wasn't participating in behavior in which would throw all that away. So now they say that he has the most severe.
So wait.
The
Also,
most severe CTE ever been noticed in the world, but they're going to now
documented.
set up a whole issue, this environmental issue, that's all going to take away from the fact that, you know what fucked him up? Getting beaten his fucking head, getting bread. That's what fucked him up.
But here's the thing.
Let's not forget that Kraft bought him. They had a paid apartment for him to go smoke weed in.
Right.
And then they were giving him them shots that legally, I think you're only supposed to get like twice a year. He was getting them
Right.
every game.
And they had stopped. Actually, they had stopped. You weren't even. They became illegal.
Right.
But let me say this. Let me say this too. As an athlete, you go through such strenuous, just as much as you endure. They make sure that you're seeing the best of doctors. These things. So these things are at some point, because also with CTE, the other symptoms are not just attitudinal. There's a level up. Once you get to level 3, that's when the explosive behaviors and all of that come into play. You're experiencing headaches. You're having mood swings. But even before that, that's like the last part of it. You're forgetting things. So there's other symptoms there.
And
I mean, not for nothing.
You'll be mad as hell. So you're gonna be fucking a cranky, rich, arrogant motherfucker under those type of conditions, and you know they're dependent on you. It's a lot of pressure, I could imagine. So do we all believe this documentary, or was Aaron Hernandez just a rich asshole? Because then we have that also. We play the devil's advocate. There are people who just get rich, get cocky, get arrogant, want to actually be these drug dealer image personas. Like they get the money and they want to live this lifestyle. So it could go either way. Like, is he just an asshole or is he a victim of the NFL?
Right.
I feel like, well, first and foremost, we got to look at certain things. Odin was killed before he was drafted. So you can't necessarily say NFL.
They don't even know why Odin was killed.
We don't. And that's the thing about it. We don't.
They were hanging out tonight. They went together.
They tried to say
a great night out together.
Right. And they were trying to tie that into the gay escapades.
Did they actually saw Odin? And this shit just turned out to be, you know how people get so high and fucked up and they're just so rich and they take anything and shit happens? What did Odom really do?
Right.
What changed?
We don't know.
To murder him.
What we don't even know, because everything seemed to be okay. They went out on a late night, hung out, did their thing. He's dancing on the wall. Odin is across the club and all of a sudden you just decide you're mad at him and you kill him.
Right.
There's never an actual motive.
Aaron
Nothing to
Hernandez writes
tie.
a whole suicide note, 3 or 4 different letters, and never says why Odom was killed.
Now, all right, now hold on. Now we getting into that shit again. I'm going back to this is why I'm conflicted. I'm going back to my original stance of him being impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of shit that shows in this that he was very impressionable. You get with you decide to hang out with the hot boy. What was his name? Alexander. You decide to hang out with the hot boy that is around town, got all these aggravated assault cases, gives no fucks about you. Huh?
The weird looking nigga.
Right. Well, that's his I was like that because he got shot in the face.
That's from the shot.
That's when Aaron shot him in the face.
Woo.
Yeah. So we know that this man somehow became this I don't give a fuck person.
I don't believe that Aaron Hernandez was scared of this guy. I just think that Aaron Hernandez had craft. He had the NFL, he had the Patriots, and he was playing victim so he could get away with being a fucking bully.
Well, his lawyer, that was the narrative, when he got the high price lawyer, that was the narrative that was painted because Alexander already had a rap sheet for being this person that Aaron had become. So yes, you make him the fall guy and basically you shoot him because you're afraid. And when they showed the outside video of them two having the exchange and you're seeing him kind of aggressive, but they're both kind of aggressive with each other. This whole thing, at the end of the day, he is a victim of circumstance, if anything, in my opinion.
Nigga mess that we never gonna hear that ever as just we lived like in hoods and stuff. Like that nigga mess when just shit just goes fucking wrong. Because everybody's just like into something. Everybody's like real snaky. It's money involved. He had a lot of money. When there's a whole bunch of money involved, people start getting grimy and shit. And there's no loyalty. He was a big pothead. They were probably like the sales or like I think a big nigga mess.
And what the Patriots should not, this is where the cover-up comes into play. What the Patriots should have never done was actually sign him. They should have never drafted him because he was not the ideal franchise player for the New England Patriots.
I noticed that. How does he get if he's first round draft pick quality? He was to the end. But the way he was fourth. He was fourth because of his shit. But his quality of performance was first round. You know what I'm saying? First round draft. But they made it to the end. They also knew that he tested positive for marijuana, but they didn't give a fuck. I don't think the Patriots give a fuck. I just think that
they said it was only one time. The papers, the media said that it was several. They said that it was only one time. But this is a dude that smokes weed all day, every day. He probably is at games high.
Do we believe definitely?
No. I don't. Absolutely not.
Just say that they hold high standards for their players like that. There's several people that have been accused or charged with rape, malicious crimes, drunk driving, malicious homicides, deaths. I mean, certain beyond a Mike Vick situation in which you've seen how he was dragged through the situation. So it's not like the NFL really has this like this epitome to really to show they really care when it comes to if it's for their franchise, if it's worth it in dollars.
If you look at what
it all trickles down to everything. So let's just say that that's how all situations are. This is how we end up with people on cards that don't deserve to be there, because rather than take out the people that shouldn't be representing you, if it works for you, you'll keep them. And that's on any spectrum. battle rap, hip hop industry, football, basketball. If
Right.
it's going to do, you're going to keep it there, and that's what fucks up each individual culture, which overall fucks up people's mentality, thinking, "Oh, okay, it's acceptable," when it's not. But
That's the
people do
moral
what's best
standards
for
of the
them.
company, right? Those are the moral
Say
standards.
that again, baby.
Who is supposed to be the most moral in the association.
They have
They're
too much
supposed to
money, though.
but
No,
if you listen to what the league the franchise owner said, he said they asked him the question of what is your job? He said my
I'll be right
job
back, lady.
is okay. He said my job is to do whatever it is they want me to do.
right.
If that wasn't a fucking admission of guilt
Like,
on the leagues, you know what I
I
mean?
don't even think he knew how to describe. Like, I'm a fucking owner. What do you mean? What do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I own
Right.
this shit. I think the question is just like bullshit.
Right.
We
But
don't.
I feel like I feel like you I feel like they genuinely had a love for this young boy because if you look at his all of his tests, all of the tests that they did on him, the test that ranked the lowest was his social.
I know. I seen
And
it.
it was low. Like
It's
it wasn't even
bullshit.
halfway. That shit was low. But if I just feel like the chicken came home to roost. The
Keenan
chicken
said that ethics practically doesn't exist anymore. Keenan also said, even if it makes sense, it doesn't absolve him of what he did. No, it doesn't absolve him. I personally
not at
think
all.
Aaron Hernandez is a bit of an asshole. I listen to like the tapes and his audios and shit like that. Money makes you vulgar. It makes you arrogant. You know what I'm saying? If you can't control your fucking ego. And I think he got lost in that shit. I
I mean,
particularly.
and even with the bit of the relationship that he had with his mother. Okay, she was nowhere near perfect. But
Right.
at the end of the day, like you said, money, um, this is something that is thrown in your face. $40 million to sign a contract with the Patriots.
Right. The smartest person out of the whole documentary was his baby mother, who held it down, and I quote, "It looks like a blob." Salute to
Why you playing?
her. And she was giving us ride or die realness, honey.
Yes, she was. That was crazy.
I
That
don't
was
know anything.
right. I threw something away and I don't even know where the dumpster is
I
anymore.
watched her take the fucking bag out and bring it to the back, and I still believed her. It looks like a blob.
Man, listen, that it was a box. It was covered. I don't know. I didn't look.
She said, "I don't
was,
know."
right. I definitely that was the coldest shit. Yeah, right. She was definitely right or
I
die.
have no clue.
I have none. That's a fact. That shit was wild. I mean, but like you said, the question is, did he kill himself? Let me say this again. I feel like he was very impressionable. I feel like he was going to be
When
in
you say
jail for the rest of
impressionable,
his
is
life.
that another way for saying he's a fucking follower?
He is. I feel like he was. I definitely feel like he was. I feel like his inhibitions, his hot boy inhibitions, got the best of him, and there was no other way out. Now you in jail because remember, as he's talking to the fiance, the fact that he looked at it as training camp, that shit was wild to me.
The
Listen,
fiance already disclosed in the audio that he was already a fuck up. When she said, "I'm tired of cleaning up your messes. This is all I do is clean up your shit." I have a feeling that Anna Hernandez was just cocky with money. He wanted to be a part of the street life, and he got caught up. On top of everything else, he was taking these drugs, and his brain was deteriorating. And then he had these other whatever his homosexual issues were. I don't believe that played a part. There's too many niggas comfortably in the closet. I don't believe it.
He had enough money to keep that shit under wraps, period.
He didn't give a fuck if he was getting fucked in the ass. That shit didn't mean anything. Niggas hide that shit all the time. They didn't have to bring that up to us. I felt like they just throw some sauce on there.
Let's goes to jail, was fluffing the foul. That's all these documentaries and all that stuff do. They ain't really.
And then they were talking about the pen pal, the gay pen pal. So he was still on his gay escapade in jail. Right. And then the other part where
you talking to anybody that know anything about men going to jail and the time periods they going to jail, you know it's a good chance of a man doing a whole bunch of time. There might be something extra going on. And I'm not saying every single man come out being touched or touching a man or something crazy. But if you ever been in a situation where you see a man for 20, 25 years and you don't think he even looked twice at the one with the t-shirt pulled up with the fucking Kool-Aid on their lips, you wildin'.
But Aaron wasn't in there for that long though.
Oh, he had a life sentence.
So
no, he had a life sentence, but he was nowhere near.
For people that don't know, though, there's
right
that don't know. 18 months, knowing that you got 2 charges dropped and all of that, is really significant to a situation where you can spend way more time. But they're not really giving up that part of the story. They want to indulge on the fact that he had what they consider to be a violent childhood, what they consider to be a very a bad decision making when it came to the people he was being around. What if he didn't want to pay for security and all them hood niggas was his security? How you know that's not who it was? But they're gonna tell you that part of the story. Those people kept him safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, like,
was this documentary made?
Tell you,
was this documentary made by an angry Patriots fan? Like, is this just somebody who was pissed that somebody came along and squandered their chance
to do the research? You gotta do
and
research.
Did not. Well, and to answer, Chermayne, to answer your question there about the people that you hang around, that is something, if you remember, I forgot who that was, I don't know if that was his brother or if that was one of the assistants or somebody for the Patriots. They were concerned about him going home. This is why they wanted him to move somewhere else. In the NFL, like I said, I have 3 pro uncles. They have a regimen. Like, there's certain shit that you just can't do.
Well, they said that type of team. They said that usually the Patriots, they come in that locker room talking about the Super Bowl. They come in there, that shit is strict, that shit is a lifestyle. They gave Aaron Hernandez certain passes that they usually don't give people.
Right.
The point is, he asked the people, he asked Kraft to be traded. They said no. They don't fuck. They don't care about all of that, nigga. And when you get your ass in enough trouble to where we can't save you, we won't. And it'll be over.
We won't. And it'll be it. Right.
And goodbye.
Well, I mean, we obviously saw when they decided to basically give Trump a jersey and make it Trump Day, whatever the fuck that was. And they chose not to make a comment on Aaron Hernandez's death. They specifically said we weren't making a comment on that right now. It's all about Trump. It's all about Tan Man.
They didn't acknowledge it. He was cut by then, correct?
He was what?
He was cut by then.
Well, he was dead.
Okay,
yeah, so that's when he killed himself.
Girl, what? Oh, they didn't care.
Yeah, hey, I said, Lord, hi, Cheddar, Cheddar. But you know, yeah, that was an inside joke. But ultimately, no, I feel like I said, I'm gonna reword that. I feel like he was given the information to basically take care of his family and the means by way of how to do it.
What's the subliminal message of this documentary? Is the subliminal message this was an angry gay man who killed himself behind the shame of being gay? I feel like that was the end of, I just feel like there was a message underneath there that was just like subtle, but like in your face. Like, he was an angry gay. Like, just, I don't know if I'm wording it correctly, and I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Well, no, that's what you're right, because the reporter, after he died, Remember, the reporter, after he died, chose to take that narrative and run with it.
Period.
Well, what's the point of that?
Angry Patriots fan. Angry Patriots fan.
Right. So is it just to get us in conversation? Like, oh my God, look at this gay shit. Like, it's just fucking up the community and blah, blah, blah. I just feel like it's just a distraction. Why the fuck?
It was. It definitely was.
Mendez get this big ass documentary like he's not the first person to fuck up an NFL deal.
Well, not even that. You had Ray Allen. And I cannot think of the other NFL player that I think he killed his wife or something happened with his wife. Like, you've had other NFL players that this shit has happened with.
Right.
That completely get cut, and there's no, CTE did it to him. You know what I mean? You have plenty. You have a lot of them that go through that. Now, the cover up part of it, like you said, I feel like the cover up part comes by way of what they did not do. Now that this man is dead, this documentary is made. There's a lot of shit that's gonna come out, and the I's are not, the T's are not crossing. Y'all motherfuckers were supposed to take care of your player. I mean, do you have enough to where you can even do a wrongful death? You know what I mean? Although he was convicted of what he was convicted of, at the end of the day, there's so many different physicals and different workups that you're doing on your athletes all the time. CTE should have been caught a long time ago with him.
I don't know. There's not enough money to fight the NFL, or I don't know if there's enough people there to fight them. And then I guess the attraction of like signing there and the money and stuff is just too attractive to turn down. So people are going to look at the take the drugs, take the needles, and take the checks.
Right.
So as long as everyone's taking the checks, I don't think there's nothing we could really do.
Right. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm still very conflicted. I feel like, you know, there should definitely be a microscope on this situation. You know what I mean? To proceeding further. You know what I mean? It definitely should be from there. And you know, it's just I would, if I were the family, they would definitely have to do a retraction of different shit. But I guess it's out there now. How do you really retract shit like that? You know, you can't really do too much. I know when my brother was murdered, my mother was like a pillar in Seattle, and she had passed prior to, you know, before him, but they didn't look at the fact that he was a father, you know, graduated high school, did, you know, played football, did all these different things. Because again, I come from a sports family. Seattle, my family is very known in Seattle. So you speak about my brother as if, but the gang life, and he was a known gang banger and all this different shit. And I completely was like, oh no, we're not gonna go with that narrative. He's in the ground. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? So I guess it's too late to try to preserve his memory, but you know, like I said, he was a killer. He was. But was it fair to do him this way? I guess that's where the confliction comes for me.
I just feel like everybody was pretty shocked when he was gay, and I'll just be like, wow.
Right, and that's gonna be the last impression that we have.
Even know, like, it was like a story or whatever, and he's dead, so I just didn't understand. Like, he can't even tell his side.
Right, that's the last impression that we have of this man.
I'm like, yes, that was my baby, y'all. Let me tell you what had happened. Now that
I was done with the gay pen pal though. When they showed the gay pen pal, I'm like, really? This we really?
Like, in real life, I don't care if you're gay or straight, anything. Like, now that someone's dead, like, how does this tie into him being a murderer? Like,
at all?
Yeah.
Right, at all. Yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, shout out. I see let's see. You play all day. Oh, shout out to Swan and there's Tay. Okay, so next topic, because yeah, you know, I did all my little notes on that, and it was just like I was disgusted. Huh?
I said I'm tipsy.
Oh God, yeah, and I need to lay down soon dealing with y'all. The circle.
The circle.
Right.
Oh, I
The
need
Circle.
telling y'all about The Circle because he really like watched that from top to bottom. After he watched that, I was like, now that you watch this, is it possible that you can watch Love and Hip Hop with me or Love and Hip Hop Miami? Housewives of Atlanta, now that we did this. And he's like, absolutely not. It was like a social experiment. This is something different. So
It is. It is completely something different than drama begets drama. This was a beautiful social experiment. It absolutely was. It was. I loved all the different aspects. Huh?
Chermayne, did you watch it? No.
I wasn't impressed.
I was over it, but like I watched like
all it was Big Brother on Netflix. Like if you
okay.
ever watch the show Big Brother, you pretty much just watch
I wasn't
Big
impressed
Brother.
by Big Brother.
The only difference is their challenges is that they couldn't interact.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't see who they were, and that the challenges were all done behind closed doors. It's Big Brother. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm a Big Brother fan. But other than those three aspects, it's Big Brother. Like I'm cool on the actual catfish, real people, fake people, and for real. It's just like a big. I would rather it just be frontal. Like all you did was remove the opportunity to see who people were, to see how long it can last in the game, which it really wasn't the game, because all the odds was against everyone playing. You didn't know who you was playing with. You were playing by yourself, so the odds are against you from jump. It's already whoever it is to one, plus the odds that you'll be able to figure out who's a catfish before they think you fake enough to other people. Or for one time that, and this is this. It really
Are you not? Can you not see the similarities to battle rap though? Can you not see the similarities to battle rap in this community? The shit that happens every single day. You don't see the similarities outside of the game aspect. Outside of take the game away.
Like it's like you're trying to fit in. You deciding what profile pic to put up. You like worry about what people are thinking of. You trying to, put your best representation of you forward. And I don't know. It was cool though because I feel like the real people were like getting ahead at certain points, and some of the people that were keeping it real confusing. It was okay. Easy can speak better on The Circle than I can because I was just like.
Right, Brian. You met me and you know that I'm not catfish. Right.
I like the catfish aspect because then I wanted to see how far, I'm saying, they could take it and shit like that. But we've seen how far that shit could go.
But it was just how it would depend on. See, here's what I'm saying: the people that they put were highly impressionable, though, because if you had really free thinkers, when someone said, "Oh, you're a catfish," all 6 people wouldn't have just, "Oh, you're the catfish, you're the catfish." And mind you, 3 more people in that 6 people are catfish. So they're just going, they're going to push the narrative so to keep the base off of them. So again, it's like
but it almost gave you a Mean Girls cliquish feel though, because eventually
they wanted to be influencers.
They got the power, and then all of a sudden, when you got popular, they wanted to see how you fared with being an influencer. You know what I mean? How now you have the power, because after when that game started to get real, you started to see motherfuckers true courage. So I was an influencer 4 times, and I had more power than you did. You know what I mean? That shit was like, okay, hold on, now the claws is coming out.
Right.
So it was just like, as I was watching it, I'm sitting here like, you know what? This is so fucking battle rap. How you have a clique of people that can come against other people. You had Ed that came in toward the end of the game, and how pretty much you had everybody else kind of gang up against him to, because they weren't ready to go. It was like, hey, you're the new guy. You ain't been here longer than us. You don't have the clout that we do. See ya. You're the most. You're the most expendable. You know what I mean? You had Sean, who basically said, "Oh, I want to tell my story. I don't want to be fake anymore." And although they were nice to her, it was still okay. Well, you came in fake anyway. and
Right.
you still had the click part of it kind of come against her. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Like I said, I liked the show, and I kind of liked how, like you said, the real people. Um, with Sammy, even you had Sammy kind of stood her ground with I can't remember the blonde girl that came in the beginning.
I
She
forgot her
completely just
name. Hey,
she came and went so quickly.
come down here and
That's
talk
talking
about
about Alana from the very beginning.
Yeah, the
yeah, because you want to talk about it, and you know more. Like you was like, you know what I'm saying?
Easy,
All right.
we need a male perspective. Easy, get on this live. Come
He
on
was so
now.
serious looking at that shit like some strategic shit. He like to go and like we'll go somewhere, and the next thing you know, we in an escape room. Like I must have fucking experienced like 7, 8 escape rooms already, and he be dead serious, like blow in there and push this and drag this over here. I'm talking about the escape, like you was looking at the circle, like the shit was like really some strategic shit to get to the end. Right. That's what they're talking about. And I feel like you can explain it better. So come here.
But
Come
I
on
said that
down,
was
Easy.
more of a strategy game than like
Mm-hmm.
a personal game. Like you had to just make the end result was not for you to make it with a team. There was no real bonds. There was no real alliances. At the end of the day, it was whose social presence was going to make it the furthest. And if, like you said, if that ain't battle rap, I don't know what is. Because if that's how true
I'm trying to tell you.
now, it would be nothing else. So I definitely agree with you there. Definitely agree.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but and then from the game aspect, like I said, I really liked it got really good toward the end, in my opinion, because it did, at first, like what was his name? Bill that they blocked. Bill came in and was like, all of you motherfuckers is fake. Real life is not like this. Everybody's kumbaya, your best friends, and whatever the case may be. And he was just like, you want to call me catfish or whatever the case may be, but I don't know you motherfuckers. I'm trying to get to know y'all. And some of y'all I don't want to talk to because I don't have nothing in common with you. That's life. And you basically said, do away with me because I'm not being friendly with you. Like, I don't even have enough time to be friendly with you that you decide to already prejudge me. You know what I mean?
And at
So
the end
I
of
like the different.
it's all about perception. And I think that the worst part is you don't opportunity to hear someone speak is definitely taken away from you. And it's all about how you reading the text that come off the screen. Like it really, as
Right.
I said, you're not really even really playing the game about. It's not about you. It's about how people interpretate you from the interactions that you have. So at the end of the day, it's not
Right.
really left up to you. No matter what you do, everything is going to be scrutinized by somebody that who may or may not be in a position of power here in a minute or two. So when
Right.
you actually get to think about it, well, damn, I can answer this question right for 6 out of 8 people in the crib. But 2 of them think I'm a fucking pervert right now because that's not their speed. Or 6 of these people in
Right.
the crib ain't. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just a reality. 6 of these people ain't about to feel what I gotta say because they not religious or spiritual. So what I say
Mm-hmm.
right now on a positive note, I may not have to say I really can't be myself. I have to be what I think that people want me to be. So everybody playing catfish, whether they got a real picture or not, and that's the sad part. Like,
Mm.
but everybody's playing catfish because you're not being
That's a
yourself. You're being
fact.
who and are going to accept when they interpret you. And that's the
Damn,
part
when you
that
put
I
it
feel like
that
why
way.
it's not a it's like you're not even really playing. You suckering yourself. You getting
Right.
played. And while you think you can
Yeah.
win, you gonna get the 100K, but at the end of the day, when you get I guarantee you, 9 out of the 12 people participate gonna look at themselves like, ugh. I wouldn't
Well,
have
see,
like
and even
unless you was really on
you
catfish,
make a
unless you
good
was already on
point.
cat, unless you
You
was
make
already
a
on
good
catfish,
point because
look at yourself.
Sammy made a comment to Ed and said that I have to let you know something. I do have a boyfriend, and she was like, I guess I kind of did it this way because I was trying to play the game. I needed to flirt with the guys to get what I wanted to get, and make it seem this way. But no, I got a boyfriend, so technically, yeah, you are faking the funk. Everybody kind of, yeah, I guess, yeah, okay, I guess you're right about that. again, like I said, I really just looked at it. I enjoyed it. I associated it with this culture that we're in. And it just, the competitive nature of when it got really good to me toward the end, because yeah, them motherfuckers' true colors completely came out. Completely.
Right.
Sorry.
You they're left with no
Yeah.
choice. And I agree with that. I agree. I'll watch it again. Don't get it twisted. Like, I know the vibes, and I definitely watch it. Was I entertained? Absolutely. Watching everybody go through all those different emotions, I was like, damn. And here's the crazy part. They put it on TV, but people really do this every day. They somebody else different to everybody else. Like, this is it's such a reality that you get to see it. Like, okay, this is how people really set it up. This is how people really plan out what they're gonna say before they even respond to this individual, because they're gonna say, okay, all right, it's 6 people that's going to see this. It's 1,000 people going to see this post.
Right.
I know about only 50 of my people really feel it. We're going to see how many we get posts.
Well, and you know what? And not for nothing. I'm not even gonna front.
Facebook Live.
I'm not even gonna front. I am guilty. I am guilty. I will filter. I will definitely make sure before I write something out that I am trying to be either politically correct. I'm not going too crazy. I do that. I do. I look over my stuff, and I do. I'm not even going front. I do that too. Not to the degree of I'm trying to make anybody happy. I'm just, I'm looking at it, well, maybe not offend this person, or not necessarily to get likes, but because I'll tell you in a minute, fuck what you, I don't care. I said what I said and whatever. But ultimately, I do find myself doing that at times to just kind of be like, well,
you have created a platform and different type of situation and energy in which you got to put out to get back what you want. So there is a time and place where in which we all should not be hypersensitive, but think about what we saying before we say it. So that's not up for debate. I'm just saying, to the extent of, you playing. At the end of the day, you playing. You not playing when these people in this game knew they was playing. So everything they doing, they playing. And the fact that anybody was believing the other people when they know they was playing in the game, it was just blowing minds.
Right.
You know what's
signed up for a game.
Right.
Yeah, like at what part did you forget in these 2 days you not being in your crib, my nigga? Of you being flued out.
Fact.
Okay, you got flued out, and you totally forgot you sounded like you got flued out, and you know what it's hitting for, but you forgot somewhere in between the flued out and the third day of the game that you think you could trust this other person that got flued out with you to play. Like, what's going on?
Right.
But I feel it'll be season 2, and I'm gonna watch. But it's just like it's crazy to see people get tripped up and stuff like that, because in reality, you know what it's hitting for. So if you know what it's hitting for, how do you even get caught up in this person's image, persona, picture, any of that? Like, you gotta actually keep yourself as robotic as possible in those situations if you really want to win. And the people that came in being the most natural was able to do it because they had to teach themselves that as they went. The catfish couldn't make it because they've been playing that role so long. They had to be themselves at times to make decisions that fucked them up. That's how I feel.
That's a fact. Well, it has been real, and everybody watching, we appreciate y'all. We will actually be doing this. We try to do it once or twice a week or whatever. Again, the culture is a platform. We don't necessarily talk battle rap. We talk everything. So if y'all trying to chime in, just chime in and see what we talking about, because this was just the pilot. You know, we get loose up here. Period. Salute to everybody watching. Catch the playback tomorrow morning on the commute. Let us know again. Our handles for Twitter are there. Hit us up and let us know what kind of topics you want to talk about, because we talk about it all. There's nothing that we will not be talking about. So we appreciate y'all.
Oh, we ain't scared.
Oh, my cousin. Hey, cousin. All right, we out.
Peace.
Taking my ass to bed, dealing with y'all and I got to get up in an hour and a half.